Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Today is Friday, July 16th, 2021. Welcome to another eBay video. Today we're going to be talking about cancellations, requests and cases, and of course your comments, questions, and concerns from last week's video. Not gonna lie, it's sunny out. Chance of thunderstorms later today. We've had thunderstorms just about every single day this week. But it's sunny right now, and that's all that counts. So I'm going to roll with that. Let's jump right into your comments, questions, and concerns from last week's video. On lowball offers, 579-7029, Mike wrote in. A buyer sends me a message this morning with 2 screenshots attached showing 8 inferior brand items, but in the same category as my premium brand item. He explained how these sellers were selling similar items for $12 with free shipping. I responded with, "Great deals, buy one of them." I do the same thing, Mike. I constantly have people writing to me saying, "So-and-so is selling the item cheaper." I say, buy it from them, right? I call their bluff, and it always works. Either they just go away, or occasionally they'll actually make the purchase. Duncan VR wrote in about sales. My sales have been through the roof since I started in managed payments. Funny thing I heard the other day was one seller being Whoa! A sale was just made live on the Crazy New York Driver Show. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm back to being normal. But I'm going to tell you something, guys. Every time I'm doing a video and a sale comes in, I'm going to jump into song from now on till the day I die. Let's start again with Duncan VR's comment. My sales have been through the roof since I started in managed payments. Funny thing I heard the other day was one seller was being billed fees on shipping when he had his items listed with free shipping. eBay said it was a glitch. How many sellers are being upcharged in fees without realizing the extra fees being charged by mistake? It seems to be happening to too many sellers I know being billed wrongly in one way or another. Could it be adding incorrect fees for multiple sellers on purpose? Check your fees daily like a hawk. Well, Duncan VR, I'm going to tell you, I haven't heard this myself. But there is really no reason and no excuse for this to happen to any seller. Because I ask you, why in this day and age would you want to offer free shipping? With the amount of returns on the platform, it's just plain bad business. I myself could never afford to offer free returns. On buyers, Jennifer V wrote, "Fun video, Joe. I guessed 7 and my husband guessed 4. 10 is ridiculous. I bet one of those deadbeats was the Blob. You make us laugh. Love it when you go postal and yell. My favorite part was when you said, 'God strike me dead,' and look toward the heavens to check. Never get the artist who draws, thank goodness. We had a buyer who made an offer to us and we accepted. He didn't pay, but bought another similar item. We asked if he was ready to pay for the 2 items and we would combine the shipping. He said that he only wanted the second item. Fine by us, we made a sale regardless. We think that eBay showed him similar items. Luckily, ours was the one he liked. Whatever. The worst part about it was that we paid promoted listings fees for them just to do that to us. What a racket. Oh, to the Japanese buyer, you said, sayonara." Jennifer V, is talking about the question that I asked all of you guys last week. And it's very, very rare that I'm disappointed in you guys, but I am this week, and I'll tell you why. In last week's video, I asked the question, and I told you the story about a guy over in Japan who bought 4 Nissan hubs from me through the eBay Global Shipping Program from a current vehicle. I honestly don't know why he did that. He could have bought them in his home country a lot cheaper, but he bought them from me. They were listed as good condition with some scratches. But what I did was I picked him out 3 that were freaking mint and could pass for new. The 4th one was as described, good condition with a few scratches, trivial minor stuff. But he then contacted me through the eBay contact system at 8 o'clock in the morning on the 4th of July to complain, and he drew this whole schematic diagram about how the one cap was scratched, and basically said, I am sad. And the question that I posed to you guys was, how did I respond? Several people wrote in with incorrect answers, saying send them back, this and that. The truth is I do not take overseas returns for any reason. Okay? Not happening. It's one thing for him to write and say that the item was scratched. But when I see these people that draw these intricate diagrams and these schematics, they concern me greatly. So I was very surprised when Dennis Copper, above all, did not even come up with the correct answer. And it was kind of a trick question, and you guys weren't on your game last week. The correct answer was crickets. I never responded a single word. If he wants to return them, it ain't happening because I don't take returns. It clearly said the items were scratched and as is, okay? We'll see what happens as we go down the road. When I get nonsense emails like that, I don't even respond. The other night, in the middle of the night at 3 o'clock in the morning, I had a guy contact me not once, not twice, but 3 times, asking the same question. 3 o'clock in the morning, will you ship to Australia? 3:15 in the morning, how come you won't ship to Australia? 3:20 in the morning, are you going to ship this item to Australia or not? I woke up the next morning, saw all that nonsense, and put it right out of my mind. I ship to Australia through eBay's Global Shipping Program. Funny thing is, later in the day, I guess he figured that out because he actually purchased the item. So yeah, let's get back to reading your comments, questions, and concerns. Dead Mousy Pluto Prestige wrote in about eBay Bucks. I heard eBay got rid of the eBay Bucks program. I have inside information on the next thing to go is eBay customer service reps. All things being equal, they're useless anyway. Well, Dead Mousy Pluto Prestige, yes, they did get rid of the eBay Bucks program, sadly, but they do bring it back occasionally for a limited time. Periodically, I get invited, and it will say something like, slide into summer with 5% eBay Bucks. Click this link to opt in. And then I'll click the link, and I'm opted in for the next 2 days or so, or whatever the promotion runs. But it's not like it used to be. As far as the eBay reps going away, I haven't heard that, and I sure hope I don't. All right? I don't want to even think about that because we need eBay customer service. All eBay sellers rely on it, and we need it. Now, I have a very interesting comment that was written by Jim Burns. I found this very interesting. I'm going to read his comment in full. Then I'm going to read a reply from Dennis Copper. And I'd like you guys to weigh in on both sides of the equation. How do you feel? Jim Burns wrote, recently I had bought some vacuum tubes from a seller in the East. I received the items and put a test on them, and they indicated weak. I contacted the seller and informed them that the items were inferior and wanted to send them back. They sent me a shipping label and upon receipt of delivery gave me the refund. A few months later, they had listed an item that I was interested in and put it in my watch list. On the day the auction was to close, I wanted to submit a bid and found out that I was blocked from bidding on their item. I hadn't noticed it at the time of the bid attempt that they were the one who I had returned the tubes 2 weeks earlier. They must have put me on a block for the return. I sent a message to them about the blockage, but they never replied. Fitchy. Now I'm going to read a response from Dennis Copper. Dennis responded, "Not so," said the blind man. "Any person that gives me 1 gram of a problem, a return is 1 kilogram, gets blocked. I don't care what the reason is. You would be blocked by me before you could say the words potato salad. eBay is a place to make money. Anything other than that is not happening." Okay? So Jim Burns versus Dennis Copper on this issue. And I will tell you that both guys continued the thread all the way down, back and forth, stating their opinions, which is fine. I'm glad to see people stating their opinion in a constructive manner. How do you guys feel about this, and what would you do if you were the seller that sold to Jim Burns? As far as I'm concerned, what I do is, my method is, if a person opens an item not as described case, claiming falsely the item was not as described to get the free return shipping, oh my God, they're blocked so quick their head will spin. I have no compunctions about doing that. Okay, none whatsoever. If a person files for a return, a legitimate return, saying they bought the wrong size or the wrong color. So let's say they bought a blue sweater and they really wanted a green one, and they admit that, and they're willing to pay the return shipping. Well, that's another story because mistakes happen, and I can understand they're admitting and they're manning up to a mistake. Now, in the Jim Burns case, it's hard to say from the description which is pertinent. Jim Burns says that the tubes tested weak. Now, if the tubes tested weak, that would technically be an item not as described case, I would think. But it seems to me that the seller who sold him the tubes feels that was not the case and blocked Jim Burns. So now let's say in my case, I sold an item right now, used with a few scratches. And the person gets the item and says, "Wow, these were way more scratched than I thought they were." All right? And returns them, and I have to pay the return. I would probably block them because I go out of my way to show the scratches and blemishes and describe them in every one of my listings. Now, to be honest, there's not enough information here. I'm assuming the seller described to Jim Burns that the tubes were fully functional and ready to rock and not weak at all. So in which case, this probably was a legit item not as described case from the way Jim is talking. But there are so many factors that could come into play here. Maybe Jim's tester wasn't working correctly. Maybe they actually are fine, but Jim's tester is on the fritz and they should have tested good, but they tested weak. So in this case, I am not in a position to say who's right and who's wrong, but I do think it's really interesting. Let me now stop and take the first drink from the ceremonial Fox News Cup of Life. This is the ceremonial Fox News Cup of Life. Happy is he who drinks from it. Very, very good. The main topic of today's video, people, is cancellations and the effects and ramifications from them, as well as requests. I want to jump into requests first, if I may, because I had something happen this morning that has never happened to me in my 22 years on eBay. Earlier this morning, I got a request opened against me, item not received. That's not unusual. I checked, the tracking shows delivered to the person. What is very unusual is the person is claiming that the box was empty. How are you? Good.
I emailed you last night.
Oh, yeah. GMC, okay. How many do we need?
Do you have the chrome ones?
I have Chrome, but they say Chevy.
Do you have these in the GMC, the gray?
Maybe. I can check. So this person bought an item from me, and they opened an item not received case. The tracking shows it was delivered to them. But in the description of the case, it says, I received an empty box. Never in my 22 years selling on eBay have I had anybody state that. And it was a small item. It was an alloy wheel center cap that I sent in one of these small boxes. Let me open it up so you can see how big it's going to be. These I always get from the eBay shipping supplies store because they're very, very useful. See how the size of it right there? These are very good for sending alloy wheel center caps. And you guys know me, I'm very careful in sealing up my purchases, my sales rather. So the person says the box arrived empty. There are only two possibilities. One, they're telling a falsehood. Or two, they live in a very sketchy neighborhood where somebody actually opened the box for the express purpose of stealing a $20 alloy wheel center cap. So, on a hunch, I went onto this person's account and I checked their feedback that they left for others. And it's a little bit sketchy, where they mention in several feedbacks they didn't receive the item. So that leads me to believe they might live in a questionable area. So I answered the request earlier this morning and added the tracking number. I don't know why we even have to manually do that. eBay should be picking that stuff up like crazy because we've already uploaded it when we ship the item. And in my opinion, it's an unnecessary step. But I haven't received a decision as of yet, but I don't see any problem with that. I did receive a decision earlier today on a long outstanding case where somebody purchased something from me on eBay, and after I shipped the item, about 2 days later, tried to cancel the sale because they said they have moved and they wanted me to reship the item to another address. I think you may remember. I mean, this is probably close to 2 months ago, and they opened the case. And they opened it with their credit card company, I believe. And I got the notice from eBay earlier today that says that they are siding with the buyer. And they are giving the buyer the money back. However, the eBay seller protection kicks in. And I'm being allowed to keep the money for the transaction. You guys who've been watching my videos know that I've had several of these this year, 2021. Oh my God, I must have had at least 4 or 5 of them already. Heretofore, I would rarely ever get one of these cases. And I think you guys are on board with this. But it seems like ever since Managed Payments took over, these cases are starting to flourish. And that's concerning. I am very glad that eBay seller protection is kicking in and doing the right thing and protecting us. But, as you know, one of the fundamental rules on eBay is every buyer and seller is responsible to have their current and registered address filed with eBay. And there's quite a few buyers who are not doing that. So yeah. Let me also talk a little bit about cancellations. This is probably the first week in my history as an eBay seller that I had more cancellations than returns. Somebody posted in one of the Facebook groups, was it in the Facebook groups or was it in the community message boards, that these cancellations are just plain over the top. And they are right. This is something that should have been addressed, never has been addressed, but needs to be addressed by eBay. By chance last night, I was in a buying mood and I was doing some shopping on eBay for things that I could buy and flip. And I came across an eBay seller who had a feedback of 97.7%, which is not very good at all. On a hunch, I decided to click their feedback to see what it said, to see what the negatives were. And he was selling a lot of toys and games. And one of the comments was from a buyer, negative, refused to cancel my order. I did not realize that the listing was for an empty box. And the seller replied with, I don't cancel orders. Just like from a famous movie we all know and love, I don't make deals. Okay? I don't cancel orders. I had to look twice. I thought maybe it was Dennis Copper's account, but it wasn't. So the point that I'm trying to bring here is I don't feel that buyer has the right to leave that seller negative feedback because this seller would not cancel the order. All right? I don't know if the seller tried to get it removed or not, but I tell you right now, if that ever happens to me, you know darn well I'm going to get it removed or I'm going to die trying. It's also a gray area because the buyer says refuse to cancel order, and we don't know if he actually paid for the item or not. Maybe it was an auction where this buyer won it and refused to pay. He wanted to cancel. We don't know. Or maybe he actually did pay and then went back and read that it was for an empty box. Which leads me to another topic. Why do people sell empty boxes on eBay? I've seen this. This used to happen early on with iPhones, where somebody was selling an empty box for an iPhone, but it was making it look like they were getting the iPhone. It's my personal feeling, and my personal feeling only, that selling an empty box of anything is asking for trouble. But still in all, it's on the buyer to read the entire listing before committing to purchase. And I don't feel that that buyer had the right to leave that seller negative feedback with the words refuse to cancel. I'd like input from all of you guys on that topic or any topic I presented this week. And the reason I'm asking is because I'm Crazy New York Driver and you're not. Thank you for watching this video. Every Friday night I come out here and I make these videos to try and help you stay successful as an eBay seller. If you think I'm doing a good job, please leave me a thumbs up. It tells me I'm on point and appreciated. If you don't think I did a good job, tell me in the comment section what you want me to hit up, and I'll be glad to do it next week if possible. Remember, I'm a seller friend, not a seller critic or skeptic of any kind. I've solved a lot of problems. I'm still making money online. I've never worn a mask on any of my videos, and I never will. I've never distorted my voice on any of my videos. I feel it's dishonest and unscrupulous. So heck yeah, I'm a CEO and a CFO of my own company. So that being said, guys, go out there, make a ton of money on eBay, rock on, and peace! This was a very good sales week on eBay with the exception of Saturday. Saturday, I made one sale for a measly $35. Absolutely disgustingly slow. I don't know what caused it, but my sales were up until Saturday. Bang! They dropped right off the face of the earth. But then Sunday came right back up and stayed up throughout the whole week. So I don't know if Saturday was some kind of strike day, but thankfully that's in the past. So yeah, I will leave you, as I always do on all my videos, with these 3 words. Don't be bitchy! Yeah!